So going into it, I knew it was going to be way more guys there than women, just because of the people who had RSVP'd. So kind of came in expecting that, and walk in, look back at the group. I got there a little bit later, as often is the case. I'm a little bit late, so I got there a little bit later. A lot of people were there already, say maybe 15 to 20 or so. And I think there were like three women of that. So I kind of came in and was like, okay, this isn't going to be, you know, finding a potential romantic partner, before Valentine's Day, anything like that. But it'll just kind of be meeting people and making new friends and seeing where things go. Um, and to that end, good night. Now, the part that really matters to you. One, over here, I'm having a conversation with a couple guys, and I overhear another couple guys talking about different videos online and people that they follow to learn about social skills, right? And me being into this myself, I'm familiar with some of the people that they name, and I know that some of the people that they name, their videos are not super popular, right? And I think at times that can feel maybe a bit discouraging because you feel like, man, I'm kind of out here on my own. There's, with so few people watching this video on the internet, on YouTube, that means that there's going to be even fewer people who are in my area who may also be interested in this, who I could learn from or work with or, go out with. So that's the way I felt at times. And also, last night and other nights have shown me that there actually are still people out there, though, who are learning about social skills, who are going out with the intention of working on their social skills. Like, the point is, there are people out there who are in the same boat as you, right? And it may seem like they're far away, dispersed, that you can't connect with them, but I think the reality is a little bit different than that. So, one, there's different groups that you can join virtually, things like on a Discord or Telegram or that sort of thing. So, if you're not in these groups and you are working on your social skills, I would recommend, hey, finding someone that you like on YouTube and joining their groups. A number of people have these groups already because they are, a lot of times they're selling classes and programs and things like that. And this is part of their offering, right? Part of what they consider to be valuable. And I think it can be, right? It's creating community and community around a shared interest and shared goal. So I would say use that to your advantage if you can. I think that can be a tremendous tool. I've talked about it in some other videos, but last night was just another example. And the thing about these two guys that we're talking about as well is that they were not the most experienced in their social skills themselves, right? I think they would have admitted that. One of them kind of did admit that to me. But also, when you are getting good, you can tell pretty quickly. Kind of get a sense very, very, very quickly of where someone's at. And so I feel like that can be a big motivation as well, to know that, like, whether you like it or not, people will judge you. And knowing that they are going to judge you, if you are good at the things that they are going to judge you on or going to judge you about, then that can help you stand out in a positive way. So you can, again, take that whichever way you want. I feel like the productive way to look at that and positive ways to look at that is to say, well, if this is really a valuable skill set, if social skills are really something that will help me, and I believe that they'll help in relationships, business, communication, just all across the board, and a number of different aspects in life. It's not just about going on dates or whatever. If it's really valuable to you, then working on it not only has those benefits in other areas of your life, but it's things that people can see. And that was another example, and something that I want to bring up in this video here is that, again, I was have been part of this social group for a little while now, and a number of people in the group I have seen over the course of several months. And there were multiple people last night who came up to me and said, hey, you know, one, as I've seen you out more often, I can tell you're getting more comfortable socially and making more friends and connecting with people. So it's like they are seeing my progress. And there have been times where, because of just the place I was coming from, because of my mindset, I was more focused on the negative or not positive things instead of being focused on the progress that I was making, right? So I was, I would go out and on the way back home be a little bit upset that, hey, I could have talked to more people or made more connections or that sort of thing. And it took me a while to shift away from that kind of self-judgment and self-attack, that, negativity, and realize like, hey, I'm going out, I'm doing it, I'm meeting people. And when I actually started looking at how many people I was talking to over time, I could clearly see that I was talking to more and more people. So it's like I'm making progress, and making progress at actually like a pretty good pace. So why am I focusing on the negative so much? And that was a lesson to me, and I hope that lesson is something that one that hopefully you don't have to learn, but if you do have to learn it, hopefully this video can help teach you instead of you having to go through it yourself. Is that other people can tell, how good you are socially, and they can see your progress as well. So, like, you can make progress, one, if you just ever, still believe that, oh, I'm just not that type of person, or clubs aren't for me, or the people I like wouldn't be in a club. Like, no, meeting people and connecting in clubs is a skill. Meeting people and connecting at networking events is a skill. Meeting people and talking to them at the library is a skill. And all of these things, are part of the big social skills umbrella. So if and when you work on your social skills, you'll get better at all of them. And when you're actually out there in these different environments, you can create your own opinion from your own experience, right? I know a lot of people who say clubs aren't for me, the people who go to clubs aren't for me, and then you talk to them and find out they have only ever been to maybe one or two clubs in their life. And one or two is not enough to judge the whole entire spectrum and selection that is available out there, the entire population, right? So, from a nerdy statistical sense, a sample size of one or two is not sufficient to draw statistically significant conclusions about a population of any real size and significance. Yeah, I'm going to drop the nerd shit. All right. Back to the field report. People can tell how good you are socially, and they can see when you're improving, right? So let that be kind of a bit of hopefully something positive for you, to let you know that when you are out there on your journey, there are other people who you will meet that are on the same journey as well. They aren't as hard to find as you may think. They are out there. They are looking at some of the same videos and the same teachers and things as you are. And you can see their progress and they can see yours. So if you all work together, if you all learn from each other, if you network, if you help each other out, if you encourage each other, you'll all be better for it, right? Of course, there are times you may have to, draw boundaries, focus on different priorities in your life, whatever. But overall, try and find and connect and use people to your advantage, right? And it's not a using relationship where it's a transactional or you're taking from them, but use as in like a win-win. How can you create a win-win for both of you so that you're both succeeding and better off because of it? And I feel like that same win-win attitude is what you should bring into, new relationships as well. That's not a transactional thing or you trying to get something from the other person, but how can you make it a situation where it's beneficial for the both of you, where you both walk away feeling better because of it? And it can take time to get there, time to understand and recognize the value that you bring, but it's worth it. So get out there. Not every night will be a, might mean you're the one, or your next future situationship or whatever else, but that doesn't mean that you won't learn valuable lessons. That doesn't mean that you won't make valuable connections, and it doesn't mean that you won't learn and grow. So I encourage you to keep going. Check out more videos because I have more tips to help you out. Thank you.